What up, y'all? Too Heady here, coming at you with a banger of a video today. Today we're talking about PnB rock show me and this kid did, and a
R.I.P.
huge party we went to after. So, starting off, me and this kid used to make music. He still does, but this was back in high school, and for like 2 years straight, we are grinding, releasing music, and built up like a pretty decent following, at least for like teenagers.
Yeah, it was fine.
We had a song that had like 40,000 plays, and he had like 5 to 10,000 monthly listeners. And we ended up getting an email from one of these marketers that wanted to do a show in our hometown with PnB Rock, and he was one of the openers. That's what started this whole thing. That's how we got the show to begin with. So pretty much, I had just bought my new car the day prior, and I went up to the middle of the fucking state, drove down, stopped at my crib, and then zooted right over to this kid's house to fucking go to this show. So I pull up, we fucking just smoked. We're super excited and hyped for this, and we leave super early in the morning. I forget, how long is it to drive? Like 4 to 6 hours?
Yeah, it was pretty far, like 4 hours probably.
Yeah.
Up to this place.
4 hour drive up. So it was me, him, and another one of our homies, and we all decided it'd be a great idea to fucking drive up in different cars. I don't know why. At that point, I guess gas prices were pretty fucking low. I couldn't imagine doing that shit now. We all had pretty decent quick whips. He had a fucking BMW. I had a GTI that was tuned, and then our buddy had like a little Lancer. But we zoom up there, and we stop at a hotel, and his dad ended up having to book the hotel for us because, you know, fucking teenagers can't get into a hotel or anything. So we had to wait. It was like an hour or two we waited there for him to pull up. And we just kind of explored the city, went over and saw some shit. And bro, we went over to this little park, and on our way to the park, my fucking GTI just overheats. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So we go park it, and I have to keep it in this little parking area. His dad ends up calling us saying like he got to the hotel, and we're just searching for some sort of automotive shop, did coolant or something, or I needed a little bit. I was low on oil and it was overheating, and we just couldn't find one. But we ended up finding a shop. I get some oil, and we all meet his dad back at the fucking hotel. And that night was the show. So I was kind of fucking already a little pissed off because my brand new car just shit the bed in the parking lot, fucking hours away from my home. But we got it back to the hotel, and we left it there pretty much. And we all get ready for the show, and we end up going there probably 7, 8. There was a few acts before us. I believe there was 3. They were all fucking garbage, bro. Fucking terrible. The worst music you could ever possibly listen to. And of course, PnB didn't fucking show up until his set was supposed to go on. But our set was right before his, I believe, or the second. There was one other fucking before him before us.
Yeah.
And then we get on stage. It was me, him, and another one of our homies. And then there's a guy that was just recording us who was also a part of our friend group. We throw down. Set was pretty fire. We ended up having a good time there. Fucking, we were just smoking blunts and shit in the parking lot before the show started up.
That was a fire experience for sure.
Yeah, we met some pretty cool people there, but there was definitely this one group of just white boys that were the most entitled, dicky ass kids ever. That ends. Fucking, we ended up dipping before PnB Rock showed up because we were like, bro, this fucking sucks. Yeah. And there was like no one really there after our set. Honestly, like we went into the crowd, and the crowd was just tiny. Yeah. I feel like more of the local artists brought in people to watch them than like the actual fucking headliner.
Low-key. Sad, but
for real, it's sad. But before we start the second part of the story, we're gonna toke on a nice little bowl. Pack yours up. Fucking cheers. Alright, so we go back to the hotel after the show, and one of our homies, Jay, gets hit up from this girl that he was off and on with, but she was wealthy as a motherfucker. Super wealthy, like, I swear to God, she could have owned a wine fucking vineyard or some shit, bro. I swear to God. But she invites us to this big party that they were all throwing for us after the show because we had a bunch of like our homies and stuff pull up to watch us. So we're like, oh, yo, we're all for it. The joke is, it's across the fucking lake. There is this big lake that we had to cross on a ferry to get over to this party. And it is late as fuck at this point. But the boys were ready to send it. We were ready to get fucked up and party. So we ended up leaving in just 2 cars. I think we had to take 2 cars because there was too many of us for just one. And I left my car at the hotel. And we get over to the party. We have to drive all the way around the lake because the ferry wasn't open that late. We end up getting there. It's probably 1 a.m. when we pull up. Oh, here, you can take this. It's probably like 1 a.m. when we pull up, and everyone's there is already fucking wasted, bro. They're cooked. But we pull up, and this bitch has a fucking whole house, like a house the size of my house, on their property, just as their game room, where they let their fucking kids get fucked up, dude. Not even joking. Like, they just let this shit happen. And then the driveway goes down even further, and it's just this big fucking wide open, like, single floor mansion. Like, and then that's not even the end of it. This house had a summer camp attached to it. There was like 8 rooms that were completely separate from the house with 2 bunk beds in them, their own room and everything that went out to the lake. Like, these people were so fucking loaded, it was stupid. But we go up to the game room because that's where most of the people are getting fucked up. Oh, and okay, we didn't know this at the time, but the whole fucking time, this chick's parents were there. Her fucking parents were home. Their vehicle was in the driveway. But we get fucked up. We're playing like beer pong and shit on their little, probably fucking $10,000 pool table, not even gonna lie. And their cupboards are just filled with fucking booze. Like, some booze I've never even seen of, so bougie. But we end up getting lit as fuck, and we end up getting through this night. We're all getting cooked. I was pretty tired after this, so I go ask my homie and his girlfriend that was there at the time, like, yo, where can I go crash? So they bring me down to the main house, and there's like this room in the basement of the main house. They're like, yo, yeah, you can just crash here. You can sleep in this room. I'm like, word. So I just completely fucking conk out. I'm wasted. I'm crossfaded as a motherfucker, and we were just standing in a concert hall for like fucking 3 hours waiting to perform. So I pass out, and like not even 2 hours later, this fucking bitch and her boyfriend come in, rip the covers off of me, take the pillow out from under my head. I'm like, this is our room. What are you doing sleeping here? I was just so fail. I'm like, what? Like, I was told I can sleep in here. I'm like, get out. I'm like, fine, fuck you. So I go out to the fucking hallway, and they had this ancient, like, antique couch on the side of the hallway, and I end up, well, they had a couch, but everyone was crashing on the couch, so this is the only fucking spot I could find at this point to sleep. It was either this couch or the fucking floor. So I go on the couch, no blanket, there's like a little fucking, with the beaded pillows. I use that as like a pillow, and then my hoodie that I brought. And then this kid comes down with his girlfriend. They're like, hey buddy, how you doing? Like, why are you out here? I'm like, bro, they kicked me out. Like, oh, that sucks. And they end up going into a room in one of the cabin rooms. Then we all wake up the next morning, hungover as a motherfucker. We all decided it'd be a great idea to go to Chick-fil-A. And let me tell you, this Chick-fil-A was probably 30-40 minutes away. We just all thought it'd be a great idea to go. So we
Flying on the highway.
Yeah, we're all just racing down the highway trying to get to Chick-fil-A first. There was like 5 or 6 different people driving, like full cars of people driving. We get there, and then we're discussing. We're like, fuck, we don't have any bud. Like, we need to get some bud today. At this point, it's already 2 p.m. So we're hitting up a plug, like trying to find anyone. I don't remember the exact plug that we fucking found or something. I just remember he was back across the fucking ferry in like the main town that we're at. So we end up waiting until he's telling us like we can meet him. We're like, all right, all of us, like 4 of us, bundle into one car to go meet this plug back where like we had the concert. We go across the ferry, we meet him, grab the bud. I forget what we got, like half zip. We might have gotten a full zip actually, since it was a few people throwing down. But we end up getting back to the party. Second day of the bender, we're all getting fucked up, and I forget where I slept this night. This kid was doing like backflips off his car and shit, getting hella fucked up. Like, just everyone was wasted. And this whole thing was a week-long bendy. I wasn't there for the rest of the week, but we get through that night. I was cooked. I'm like, bro, I need to go home. Like, my car's still over at the hotel. Your dad left the night before. Like, they're probably gonna tow my shit. And they're just all like, nah, we want to stay. I was like, you're the only ones with a car. Like, how am I supposed to fucking get over there? And like, she's like, we'll call you a taxi. I'm like, there's no taxi that is fucking driving over here to pick me up to bring me over. But they end up getting me a taxi from the ferry back to the hotel, and this kid drives me over to the fucking ferry. And let me tell you, I felt like the lone soldier going on this ferry by myself. It was so rotten, dude. So I just get back to my car. I get over to the taxi. I couldn't find him for a little bit because he barely spoke a lick of English. He'd like, and like, she used her name. This kid's girlfriend used her name to fucking book the taxi. So I didn't know that. She said it was my name. But he picks me up, brings me to the hotel, tries to start some fucking small talk with me, but I can barely understand him. I get back to the hotel, I hop in my whip. Thank God they didn't tow it, and I make that 4-hour journey back to my house by my fucking self. Anything else you would like to add, like,
No,
from the
bro,
rest of that bender?
those were good times.
Those are very good times.